Hello Orchid friends, welcome back to my channel. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day, staying healthy and staying safe. Today we have a Phalaenopsis Sogo Vivien. Pretty common orchid. I think many people have this orchid in their collection. But before we get into this orchid's current bloom seasons, photos and video, this is a clip from its last year, just so that you have a point of comparison in terms of bloom counts, the flower counts, the size of the orchid, as well as how it looked like, past tense, how it looked like last time, in terms of roots in the medium, etc., etc. Okay, so I was saying that many people have this orchid in their collection because it's not exactly a rare orchid. And I think most people would buy this orchid because of its variegation. And it's really just that the edge of the leaves, you know, obviously different color. That yellowish green, greenish yellow color, or some people said it's a lime color. Anyway, so whatever that color looks to you, it's different than the green color of the leaves. So that's the difference that make people want to have an orchid like this in their collection. Personally, I have 3, and it just so happened that I have a large one, a medium one, and this one is the miniature one. And I believe this is going to remain miniature because it has always been the smallest one. It doesn't really quite grow, and then the bloom count is always somewhat consistent. I mean, this time around, I think it has 2 or 3 more flowers, which is good. That means this orchid is doing better than last time. But you know, I'm really guessing that this orchid is a miniature variety versus the small and the large one, which I purchased elsewhere. I think both from Trader Joe's at some point. This one I got it at a Home Depot in Los Angeles when I was visiting a friend. I used to live in Los Angeles as well for school, for my education, and then I moved away. I was going back for a visit, and then I just happened to go into Home Depot and saw this one, the last one. And then I quickly put it in my basket. It was maybe $6.99. I think that's what they were selling their miniature Phalaenopsis for. But anyway, by the time I took a photo and took the video of this orchid, the first 2 blooms had already faded. I don't really particularly love the way the flowers look. And you know, the purple veiny, purple lip type of deal. But this orchid still brings me joy when it blooms, because let's face it, as long as I can get my orchids to bloom, it's fine. As long as the smell or the look is not too tedious. And this is like nothing against people who have bulbophyllum, but a friend of mine has this bulbophyllum in bloom. I didn't even have to go close to it. I could already smell the smell. I wouldn't even call it a fragrance because it's not a good smell. I mean, but then I also don't want to say it's old, you know, like that's an odor. But anyway, so this orchid still brings me joy. 3, I get to do a little bit of experiment, or at least different growing methods, different treatment to just kind of see how they would react. So for this one, I chose semi-hydro for the growing method. And you probably saw that this orchid already has roots at the very bottom of the cup, which is a very good, I guess, result for semi-hydro. And that really means that this orchid wanted to grow its roots into the reservoir at the bottom of the cup. So that those roots are typically more used to high moisture and high water level for at least a few more days. For this orchid, I still like to keep that 7-day wet dry cycle. So when I give this orchid, say 1/8 of a cup, typically by the 6th day, there is almost no moisture. So this orchid basically is a relatively low maintenance orchid. I don't give it special treatment. 1/8 of a cup, and then in winter time, 1/8 of a cup. Sometimes summertime, I would try to give this orchid quarter cup of a quarter cup, but usually it's anywhere between quarter cup and 1/8, just to make sure that that wet dry cycle will complete within 7 days. I have not repotted this orchid. Personally, I think this cup is still too big for this orchid, but I did not have any smaller cups handy, and so I decided to give this cup a try. And I sometimes wonder if I gave this orchid a smaller cup, it may have grown better or done better in terms of roots production, because I feel this cup is still a little too big, and we all know orchid like to be root bound, and the fact that this orchid is still not having that huge amount of roots, I almost feel like by having this bigger cup as the container, I somewhat is a little bit setting back this orchid. Yes, sure, it still blooms every time, but I somehow just feel that this orchid hasn't reached its full potential. It's one of those things where you just kind of know by looking at your orchid and compare this orchid against the other two, and then compare this orchid against other orchids in my collection. You just kind of have that intuition. You kind of know like this orchid is doing okay, but not really 100% happy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really observe this orchid after this bloom cycle, and see if I really want to just change out the medium, use a smaller cup, maybe change the semi-hydro setup altogether. I haven't really decided, but if I make a decision and do something about it, I will definitely make another video to update you. But overall though, this orchid is not difficult to find, and if you don't have one, you should totally get one when you see it. It's not easy. It's not that hard. It's actually easy to take care of, and I believe this orchid type will bring you joy too. This is all I have for you today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to get more orchid related videos from my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification. I want to wish you happy growing, and I will talk to you in my next video. Ciao!